Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Red Rainer, bringing you the results from WWE Extreme Rules, the pay-per-view, live from Baltimore, Maryland. Starting off the pay-per-view, we have The Miz challenging Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship, and it is a very odd stipulation. The stipulation is that if Dean Ambrose is disqualified at Extreme Rules of all things, he must forfeit his title. The show starts off with The Miz coming out to the ring, followed by a promo about, Miz and Dean Ambrose over the last few months. Dean Ambrose comes out, which he doesn't take very long to get to the ring, which is good. Dean Ambrose clotheslines The Miz out of the ring. Then Dean Ambrose jumps out with a suicide dive, and it looks great, guys. And then while they're on the outside during this altercation, The Miz grabs a chair and swings on Ambrose, but Ambrose punches him in the face. The ref isn't looking because Maurice. Anyway, Maurice has the ref, and Ambrose punches him in the face. The ref turns around, and Ambrose has the chair in his hand, and the ref is screaming at Ambrose. Then The Miz and Ambrose get back into the ring. The Miz puts him in like a bow, where you put your knee in the middle of their back and pull their arms back. But it's very sensual the way he grabs him, and it's very odd. Followed by Miz being thrown to the outside, Ambrose getting onto the top rope and jumping across to the outside using what they call a lunatic elbow. After all this is said and done, they're back in the ring. Miz has Dean Ambrose in the figure four. And then continuing on, The Miz rips the turnbuckle cover off of the turnbuckle, and Dean Ambrose is going to put The Miz's head into the turnbuckle, but the ref stops him, and then he realizes he could have just lost his title. Dean Ambrose gets The Miz to the ground, puts him in a figure four leg lock, which is great. Looks great, by the way. Miz gets out by grabbing onto the rope. The Miz sees Maurice. He says, slap me now, slap me. And then she slaps the taste out of his mouth. The ref sees, and then the ref ejects Maurice, but she doesn't leave. She comes back a little bit. She's gone down to the ramp. And then The Miz throws Dean Ambrose into the ref. The ref gets thrown out of the match. He's out of the ring. And then he said, did you just shove me? Did you just shove me? Screaming very loud, so we made sure we heard him. And then he's headed over to the timekeeper to disqualify him. I'm not sure why he had to walk across to say he's disqualified. My understanding was, you just ding, 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 and that's it. You move your hands, because that's how anybody else gets disqualified. And then we have the skull-crushing finale by The Miz. And then he pins Dean Ambrose. The Miz, the new Intercontinental Champion. I was way off on this. I kind of thought this might happen, but I didn't want to see it happen. That's why in my predictions video, I said that I wanted Dean Ambrose to keep the title. It's not that I like Dean Ambrose any more than The Miz. I think they're both shit, in all honesty. But I'm tired of seeing the two of them fight. I wish the feud would end. They've been fighting all year, for Christ's sakes. Next up, the team of Noam Dar and Alicia Fox versus the hometown boy, Rich Swann and Sasha Banks. Both teams looked amazing. The best part of the match for me is when Noam Dar is placed on the top of the turnbuckle, and then Rich Swann doesn't touch anything, just jumps up and gives him a Hurricane Rana. We then see Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks back in the ring. We see Alicia Fox put into the bank statement. Then Noam Dar grabs Alicia's foot and puts it on the rope. The ref does not see this, and the match continues. Then we see Rich Swann do a flip onto Noam Dar, and he doesn't even hit him. And I've placed the picture in the left-hand corner of the screen right now, folks. You can see he doesn't even touch him. Continuing forward, though, we have Alicia Fox thrown to the outside. She bounces off the barricade, and then she goes over towards Sasha Banks, who is on top of the top turnbuckle, and she goes to jump off on her, but Noam Dar pulls her out of the way. Noam Dar instead gives what I'm calling a muff dive, because she slams her junk into his face, basically. They called it a double knee. Yeah, her knees hit his shoulder, but still, it was a very provocative position, to say the least. Then, she throws Noam Dar back in the ring. Rich Swan's up on the top turnbuckle. He does a Phoenix Splash. 1, 2, 3. Winners of the match, Sasha Banks and Rich Swann. And it's a hometown crowd, and they go crazy, which hasn't been happening here recently in WWE. They keep booking people to lose in their hometown like it doesn't matter anymore. Used to be, you love to see a big pop, but that's not the case so much anymore. In my honest opinion, this was good for them to actually do that. I would have liked to have seen Noam go over, though. He's a hell of an athlete, and they haven't really let him shine yet. Then the Drifter comes out, and he talks shit on Baltimore, and he sings about Baltimore being trash forever. So boring. Up next, we have the Raw Women's Championship up for grabs, and a kendo stick on a pole match. And basically, guys, we have Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa being the champion. And coming out first, we have Bayley, the challenger. And I gotta tell you guys, she looks stoned. Like, she just looks high on something. And maybe it's just me, she looks stoned. As you can see from this camera angle, it looks like we have Fucky the Clown booking WWE again. And when I say Fucky the Clown, by this time, you all know I'm talking about Vince Russo. Making her way to the ring, Alexa looks so tough, so determined to keep her championship. You can tell just by her demeanor, there's no way she's going to let that belt leave her waist tonight. Now, Bayley did pull the kendo stick off of the pole, but Alexa Bliss got it. And it was pretty much a squash match, guys. Alexa beat her black and blue. And I can't get the pictures from the WWE website, but her kendo stick wounds look amazing. The only thing I can really say about this match, the only real offense Bayley got in, was she got a Bayley to belly, which then she didn't do anything with. It's such a soft move to start with. And, you know, Alexa finished her off with the DDT, and I love that Alexa finishes people off with the DDT. It needs to be a devastating move again. Your winner, and still Raw Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss. Then we go off to a commercial about something that's not important. And we come back, and we have one of the Orioles sitting there, and I believe they said his name was Adam Jones. Yeah, Adam Jones in cosplay, which kind of gets the Orioles over a little bit and makes WWE look big because they have another athlete at one of their events. Next up, the cage match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And we're going to have Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. I love the dynamic that Sheamus and Cesaro have going on with their jackets. They keep adding more and more things to the jackets over time. If they keep going on the way that they are, though, the jackets are going to weigh 60 pounds. The Hardy Boys come out, and fireworks explode, and it brings you back to the late 90s. Literally brings you back to the late 90s. Match starts off really slow. Then we have a double drop kick by the Hardys to Cesaro and Sheamus. And then 2 Poetry in Motion. First to Sheamus, then to Cesaro. The whole match, we hear delete chants as well as Brother Nero chants. Jeff Hardy and Cesaro are up on the cage. Sheamus grabs Jeff to give him a powerbomb. Jeff holds on to Cesaro. Boom, it's like a double powerbomb done by Sheamus. Looks good, but at the same time, he hurt his partner. So, that's kind of a downer. I will be omitting some parts of this match because it was all over the place, but I'm going to give you the highlights. Jeff got out of the cage and left Matt in there, and it looks to me, without Jeff in there, there's no way Matt was going to win. So, Cesaro and Sheamus versus Matt Hardy. It was like double Razor's Edge coming from Sheamus and Cesaro onto Matt Hardy. But somehow, Jeff slams Cesaro's head into the door of the cage, knocks him backwards. Sheamus tries to get out, and instead of Matt letting him get out and Cesaro being laid down, Matt fights Sheamus and tries to get him to stay in the cage. I would have let him go out of the cage and went out directly behind him, and I would have kept my championship. That's what I would do in this situation. This is a true what the fuck just happened moment. Matt Hardy then takes on both Sheamus and Cesaro, knocking them both down and trying to escape the cage. Jeff Hardy delivers a Whisper in the Wind from on top of the steel cage, and that's how he came back in the ring, guys. Matt and Jeff Hardy are trying to get outside the cage back onto the door, and Sheamus and Cesaro escape seconds before Matt and Jeff. The new Raw Tag Team Champions, as predicted, Sheamus and Cesaro. Matt looks so shocked. He looks like he may be breaking, slowly but surely. Thank God.
Wonderful!
Next up, we have a submission match for the Cruiserweight Championship. And we have Austin Aries facing Neville, the champion. This is the last match before the main event. Now, I think I've been saying this for the last few episodes. WWE seems to be putting on filler matches before the main event. So, I'm not sure this match is going to be all that great. So, the only part of this match I really want to talk about is Austin Aries made Neville tap out on the outside, but it didn't count because they were out of bounds. So, into the match, Neville beats Austin Aries. And I hope this is the end of the rivalry. I'm tired of seeing it, in all honesty. I did have Austin Aries going over, but looks like I was wrong here. Neville keeps his championship. Up next, your main event of the evening for Extreme Rules, the pay-per-view, live in Baltimore, Maryland. But first, a word from our sponsor. Audible.com has 220,000 titles, and you can check it all out for free. The link is in the description, guys, and you get to keep an audiobook of your choosing for free. Check it out at audibletrial.com/heavyweightmark. Now, on to the main event. Fatal 5-way for the right to challenge the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar to a title match at Great Balls of Fire. Speaking of Great Balls of Fire, the commercial for Great Balls of Fire. Who's seen Jerry Lee Lewis doing the theme song? Who? For this match, we have Roman Reigns facing off against Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and former WWE Champion Bray Wyatt. Going into this, I want to remind you guys that I have Finn Balor as the winner, even though I'd like to see Samoa Joe win this match. I can't believe how much Baltimore popped for Bray Wyatt. It may have been the biggest pop of the evening. Then Seth Rollins made his way to the ring, and they were popping quite loud for him as well. The third person on their way to the ring is Samoa Joe, and they made him look like a monster coming out. There wasn't that big of a pop for Samoa Joe. However, there were a few people in the crowd who were pulling for him hard. Finn Balor comes out with all the smoke and the mirrors, and he still doesn't pop quite as loud as we've seen Bray Wyatt pop. But you can tell the Baltimore crowd is crazy with excitement for Finn Balor. Roman Reigns comes out and, as usual, gets the biggest boo of the evening. The entire arena is booing him out of the building. To be honest with you guys, this is probably the most boring match of the night. However, I was very, very happy with what happened during the match, in which Samoa Joe come home and won the match. So, very happy. Joe did actually win. I didn't see him winning. He pinned Finn Balor of all people. So, that's the end of Extreme Rules. I'm glad you guys stuck around. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Please like, share, and subscribe below. Comment and let me know what you thought of this pay-per-view. Would you have liked to seen somebody else win the number one contendership? Thanks for checking out the video, guys. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe below.